Hey everybody, wow, big long set of chat already. Morning Dex, David, John, Kimberly, my lovely wife, Donald, Larry, Arturo, Rongamer, glad to see you, my man. Hope you're feeling a little better. Craig, Pat, Jan, Sergio, Francois, Alan, TT, Lucero, Dan, good morning everybody. Sorry about being a minute late there. A little technological difficulties. I use this piece of software called Synergy that allows me to move my mouse across multiple computers. It's not like a KVM thing. It's it's kind of like a virtual KVM if you're familiar with that sort of thing. And it was glitching up, and I couldn't post the freaking post in Discord before. It was like really frustrating me. Anyway, yeah, adventure on the way to work yesterday. You want to? I kind of exclude Kimberly and Rongamer from the guess, but if anyone wants to guess what vehicle I normally drive, like age-wise, maybe even make and model, you can in the chat. I was on the way to work and loud hiss when I hit the brakes, and then it was like a buzz, loud hiss followed by a buzz, and then not slowing down. And that was on the way to work yesterday, and then I did it again, same thing. Then 2-footer, and came inches from hitting the car in front of me at the stoplight. So that was beautiful, beautiful excitement. So today was walking Ford Fiesta. It's not a Ford, I'll tell you that. Not a Ford. Never owned a Ford. Well, I should clarify. I own a Ford backhoe. Anyway, it wasn't the brake line. It was the diaphragm in the brake booster, I guess, went out. So that's beautiful, beautiful excitement. So yeah, I drive a 2003 Chevy Avalanche normally. Just crossed 20 years old this year. So 20 years old. So it's at the shop next door. Walking this morning. And Kimberly says, no, Ford's gross. Anyway, we have a Ford backhoe. We do have a Ford backhoe. Anyway. Yeah, it's amazing what the vacuum assist does for brakes. And yeah, it was a hairy ride to work yesterday. So anyway, I wasn't speeding or anything. I mean, it was in a school zone when I did that. So how many miles? Well, that's a loaded question because it's got a new engine, a new rebuilt transmission. They rebuilt it with the Corvette kit, and a new engine this year because it spun a bearing, the middle bearing up in the middle cam bearing, and threw glitter all through the engine. That was beautiful. New engine. You can pick one up at AutoZone. They have them in stock. Like it was like $2,500. Heck of a deal. Heck of a deal. Way cheaper than buying a new vehicle. Anyway, it is a work truck, so owned by my company. But I've driven it since new for 20 years. So love that thing. It's like riding like big old seat in the front. It's like a couch. Love it. Haven't been in any other car that kind of rides like that one. And it has the I guess back then they put in the suspension like the Cadillac. Anyway. Yeah, my triple nickel backhoe. Yeah, 555. All right, morning everybody. Let's jump in. What's crapping in the market? Looks like we turned a little more bearish than I would have wanted to see, but we can discuss it all. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, and fun. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument or anything else, because I may never get this right again. May never get anything right. Let's face it. Nobody has the crystal ball, even though I have my unicorn dust right here. That I try to sprinkle the unicorn dust on the market, but doesn't always work, as we all know. Nobody can predict it right all the time. Even the AI crap I keep... golly, my email is loaded up with AI crap. You know, remember, if you want personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor, but make sure they're not using that AI crap. I mean, maybe it gets it right, but, you know, AIs are only as good as the data they're trained on and the people who wrote the code. If you don't trust those people, don't trust the AI. Anyway, trying out the watermelon today. Not my favorite, as Kimberly would attest to. Watermelon, just not my favorite. And the watermelon kind of tastes like green tea mixed with watermelon. It's like you took green tea and you dropped a Jolly Rancher, like a watermelon Jolly Rancher in there and dissolved it. That's kind of what it tastes like to me. And neither of those are my favorite flavors. Good morning, everybody. Morning. Go on. Valerie, Phil, Deb, Val, Harry. Now, if you want to chat with me, just like all these fine folks on the chat, all you got to do, hit this button right down here where the monster is, the green button right on the screen overlaid. Be a subscriber. A few seconds later, you can chat with us while we're live. If I'm no longer live, if this is not an actual live stream anymore, it's just on the replay, you'll have to leave me a chat comment down below. And while you're down there, expand out the description for the video. There's a link in there for $5. You can come join me in Discord and chat with me all you want. You know, ask me all the questions you want. So, yeah, Patrick, yuck. yeah. Watermelon Jelly Rancher with green tea. It's a weird flavor for me anyway. Now, several people waking up this morning, looking at the chart, going, holy bananas, why is the ES up 48 points? Well, you know what? ES is not up 48 points. It was a contract rollover. ES is actually pretty flat. Yeah, you have to go to the ESU 2023 contract to see the expiring September contract. TradingView has rolled it over to the new contract. So that's why we see a 49-point discrepancy here. If you've heard me mentioning there was like a 50-point discrepancy on the future for December, well, that's it right there. 49 points right now. That's kind of ridiculous. We don't usually see that big a discrepancy. And what does that kind of mean? Well, to me, it means that we're expecting, or the market participants are expecting some sort of rally into the December expiration time frame. So if my video is not, if the video is not sharp, all you got to do, go down, click the gear with the little doodad on the bottom of the YouTube there, and change your resolution up. I'm broadcasting at a high resolution. So that's YouTube helping you out with your bandwidth, probably. Alrighty. Now, there you go. So that's the discrepancy in the chart there. I brought a couple things. Probably didn't pop them up properly. Let me grab this thing right here. Pop that out in 1 second. I'll grab another. All right. Where's the other thing? Beautiful. All right. Well, I brought one thing. All right. So this is interesting. Opinion piece by Bloomberg macro strategist. Excuse me. Not micro, but macro. Oil may tip us into recessionary territory. The rising cost of oil, while the economic output's just already being sluggish, that's kind of what they call stagflation, where prices are still ramping up with inflation, but we've gone on a stagnant growth trajectory. So rising prices in an environment where economic output is either flat to declining is kind of like stagflation. If you hear that term thrown around on the mainstream media, and it can tip us into recession. We're seeing some higher prices in oil. We're seeing weaker sentiment in gas prices. That's been kind of an interesting tidbit there. When we actually look at the RBO future, RB1 exclamation point, right there, gasoline. Look, we're kind of lagging on gasoline compared to oil. I do kind of chart this sloppily, but this is a back test of this trend right here. It broke out, just a couple highs here. Broke out, retested there, moved up, retesting here. If we break out above this, though, watch out. As that compares to oil itself, look, oil breaking out. I do have higher targets, 89 and 94 for the next moves on oil before we probably see another pullback. I am long UCO, Why not USO? Because the opportunity cost for UCO was much better. I could make about 30% gain on the same move in UCO as I'd only make like 10% on USO. So, alrighty. Everybody cool? Everybody cool on that one? Could lead us into recession. Maybe, maybe not. Now, the topic of the day, did we start on a bearish path? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is maybe we can save it right here. Maybe, maybe. All right. The short answer is this has become likely. This has become primarily likely. I removed all the other stuff off the chart because the likelihood that we do this is, I mean, it probably blew away the other ones. Now, there does exist something in the futures market that I need to go circle back and talk about. That was right here. Let's see, I need to go down to the 30-minute. We just need to see the recent price action here. This recent move up right here. Now, this right here, well, I gotta move that down. This right here was a deep retrace, spiking down, holding that 786 right there. You see that move up? It was just a couple weeks ago, back in August 24th. Move up, we retraced back, held the 786. All right, everybody's clear on that right there. Dip below the 618, hit the 786. I was concerned we were going lower. Very concerned, but then we blasted off. Beautiful. This was a sloppy move up, though. This was kind of a sloppy move up. Not a clear, impulsive move, but together, they made a pretty darn good case that we could go higher, especially when you just looked at the cash index, the SPX. Now, this is S&P 500's futures, and I'm not using the ES1 this morning because of the gap. I want to illustrate something here. That move up, we came down and held a 618 right there. Yesterday morning, I was really nervous. We were getting this acceleration right into the open. I was very nervous. Now, yesterday after the open, we kind of parked it and went sideways. We parked it for a couple hours right at the bottom. Then we started moving up. We didn't touch the roadmap line on the 30, but we did get above it on the 5. Took us a little effort. We got above it on the 5, and we found resistance at the 15 and retraced overnight. If we break above here this morning, that's indicating that this current drop might be a nested 1-2-1-2 type setup. That's Elliott wave pattern. There's the market open. This could be a 1-2-1-2 for a very bullish pattern. Very, very cautious on this pattern until we get back above 4,500. And it may need a little higher to prove it. It may actually need a move up above 45, say 45.20, maybe even 45.25. It could still roll down. This could still be a 1-2 for a move down. And that would be not so bueno. All right. Or an AB. Could be an A wave. This could be a B wave. And we could see a C wave that takes us right down into the daily roadmap line. So this is very much a coin flip. But that holding the 618, that was a beautiful potential measured bounce type thing that I call it right here. And that sets the target. Well, got a bunch of junk up here. Let's see. Right there. Sets the target right up here, 4670 potential. But we got to get above that 4,500 and 45.20 and the roadmap line on the hourly and the roadmap line on the 4-hour. And could potentially set us up. All right. There you go. So I give, if you're not prepared for this type of move, you need to consider what you can do to prepare for that kind of move, because right now that is a high potential, higher than going higher at this point. If we break below, if we get closes, 30-minute closes below this 618 level, The last line in the sand is this 786 level at 4505-ish. And if we don't hold that, 4317, 4250 come into play, down lower. And really, you know, that kind of plays in with this roadmap line on the daily chart there. That simplified daily chart. All right. There was not much on the morning movers list this morning. Not much at all. Now, NQ, messing with the wrong list. Change this up, get back to, there we go. NQ, got the gap because of the rollover. Any of these you want to see and take the gap out, just go NQ U 2023, just like I did right here on ES. And you can look at the September contract. Everything rolled over. So NQ U 2023 would take us to that one. This has the same similar pattern. Now, why am I hyped up on that pattern right there? Let's roll back to the ESU. If anybody has been following for very long, you know I have something called Echo Trades. That was my first product out to the world. This is an Echo. That pullback and that pullback, almost exactly the same. Typically, when we get echoes in the market, we see the same sort of reaction, which can put us right up there. So I'm on full alert, watch out for this thing to turn higher because that's bullish, but it can break down and go lower. NQ, same sort of pattern. Russell, right down to the line in the sand. Right down there yesterday. And that's probably the contract rollover putting it back up. It probably actually was below it. Yeah, right at it. Right at the line in the sand still. Even with the contract rollover. So, highly cautious. We get below, below that zone, below those tails in there, it's like the first cautionary thing is below that line, then below the tails, and that sets us up to go on down to 1750 area. That's IWM, if you're unfamiliar. Small caps. So I'll keep track of small caps, big tech, and S&P, which is broader market. Oil, we already touched on. It's pretty strong. Having a little trouble getting through the 1272. That's classic price action. We did retrace in there already and didn't really fully backtest the 100%, the breakout level, the high from back here. That just kind of indicates more strength, and we may get a sudden pop. Could stop at the 1618, but we could just run right up here, hit this 94 level up here, 93s, 93.50 up to 94.50. Gold showing little support at the roadmap line just above. That's holding a higher low. Potential for that one to blast off. Bitcoin was rallying late. We should look at this on a different chart. Let's see. Hey, look, had a beautiful rally last night, and then we took it all back this morning. I was like, what the beep? Anyway, potential for this to get going. I don't like taking that all back. Let's be honest. It's not my favorite to see that thing, take it all back, get back below the roadmap line. It was a beautiful move up. Maybe it was just on the futures rolling over, but I don't think so. I think something else is in play here, and it could be bullish. So just watch out. If we start breaking out above those highs we had at 26.5 from last night, we could be getting something much more bullish. And probably want to put that on a spot market chart right there. Above that. If we get breaking out above that, we're probably doing something more bullish on Bitcoin. Ethereum still looking pretty bearish. It did not really, it was participating with Bitcoin, but it didn't didn't even get out of the range from last Wednesday or from Wednesday. It still looking gnarly on Ethereum. Dollar potentially going to be on a path up to this zone. Little lack of enthusiasm though. Once we've poked above, we may just roll over. Let's I kind of expected to see some continuation. We didn't really have any pullback in here though. This reminds me of the move we saw on like Apple and Netflix, where we just go ripping off. We haven't had any pullbacks. When we did that little one right there, came up to the extension higher, right up to 1272, 1618, right above, those tails right close to there. Does it get any more enthusiasm to go higher without a pullback? Not so sure. Now, this thing does do wicked pullbacks. I mean, you can see over here, we don't usually just go ripping off and don't ever pull back. We got a little one in there, a little one in there. We don't usually just chug, 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 chug. So there may be some other price action going on the dollar. Keep it posted. I kind of give closing above that high kind of tips the scale to heading up here. But we may come back, retest again before we can do that. Now, the list that was moving today, very short. There was only like, 10 tickers there. Adobe poking higher. Resistance still way up here at 670. Looking pretty good being above that. And it can just chug right on up there. Earnings coming up here and next week. So watch out for that one on Adobe. Snow, just choppy in the range here. And I do kind of, based on that gnarly price action right there into resistance, we could see a drop on Snow. 618 right there where that high comes in right there at 175. We hold resistance going higher there and turn down, get below these lows here. It really sets this up to go lower. So be careful. Snow does not have to break out of here and go higher. FSLR might do the dip. Might do it. Be careful on that one. There's no clear path forward with that much sideways for the last 3 months. DOCU was announcing earnings last night and beat on the top, beat on the bottom. DocuSign everywhere in the COVID age, but not impressing anybody. That's still a bearish chart. May need a lower low to clear this up because that's not bullish. Watch out below. All right. Didn't do that. And 1, 2, 3, probably going down to the roadmap line. That'd be an echo of that first move right there for support. ASML continuing its march down, probably going to come down into this box before it can find support. And it may need a deeper retrace at this point. Like that may have been played out. We may need to move all the way down into this zone right here. Could be potentially possible on do we get a move down in here? That'd be a 618 retrace of this entire move up from October through July. Could come down here, find support before we turn up again. KRT. Oh. Probably coming down to the roadmap line. Is that a cardboard seller? Contain disposable products for the restaurant and food service industry. Interesting. Coming down. Probably going to the roadmap line before we find support there. RCLF. SPAC, crazy price action, not touching it. TM, Toyota, right back up to the next. Beautiful. Pop up, found resistance, may retrace that back down. May do that one more time. That was a fast pop up. If we can break out above here, I'm not really messing with Toyota until we break out. Like, that's kind of a significant resistance. I mean, it was resistance, resistance, resistance. We popped above and crushed it right back down below. Couldn't get up through it again. I don't care what the market was doing overall. That's a giant resistance supply zone. It's going to have trouble getting up through that. Once we do, we could go higher, but watch out. Let's check out their numbers just a little bit. Gross profit margin 17 and price to sales 0.85. Plenty of room to go higher, but I mean, are they actually competing with the big dog? Profitability wise, 26%, growing like crazy, and price to sales 9. But then you compare that to legacy automakers. 16.29. Whew. GM. 20% on there. Price to sales 0.27. So Toyota just kind of coming in line with historic, traditional manufacturing for autos versus Tesla that's printing money every time it sells a car. We'll see what happens. That head and shoulders played out. Right back to the lows. Yeah. Then Grom. Oh, ouch. Reverse splits, never positive. Almost never positive. That's probably going bankrupt eventually. Yeah, that's ouch. If you have anything, I would liquidate it. It's not going anywhere. Airbnb, not a big mover so far. What's the problem? I mean, it's bullish. It's the target's way up there. It was the chart of the week earlier this week. And that's the conservative entry. We closed above here today. Target 163, 173, and the bigger move potentially up here around 200 to 250. I am long Airbnb. I may get off at 190. And Roku didn't hit my scanner. It's flat. ROK. Rockwell. And if you're talking about ROKU, yeah, moving a little bit, but didn't hit my scanner. So I'm not really doing a whole lot today. We'll have to see how this shapes up. Now, my bias for the day, cautiously optimistic on that 1-2-1-2 bounce that I talked about pretty extensively on ES. Remember, we have the contract rollover, so you gotta use ESU or a platform that doesn't roll it over until you want it to roll over. So potential to get out of here and go higher, potential. But be careful, we do have resistance levels all the way up there. It's not, above 4,500, above 4,520, and then we can start looking for this move up here to a new high than we were in August. There's still the possibility, still very distinct possibility, we go lower. Please be careful. Please be prepared. It's not being wrong that costs you money. It's staying wrong, all right? And somebody's going to win the lottery, but it's probably not you. So you need to have a plan, all right? Stay safe out there. I'll be in Discord most of the day. Like I said, I'm on Ask the Pros Premium. That's a subscription-based thing at 11:30. So I'll be talking about a trade on there. And otherwise, I'll see you later. Have a good day, everybody. And come ask me questions in Discord. I'll be there. I'll be updating. If this thing takes a turn for the sour, we'll talk about it. All right. Bye for now. Have a great day. Stay safe out there.